I'm going to share with you a very powerful quote from Mahatma Gandhi. And what he says is, your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. Your values become your destiny. Isn't that powerful? And I'm going to explain the values. I'm going to give an example, because it can be quite a wide subject. So I'm going to give an example about the values. I've met a person, and my experience is going to show, this experience is going to show you what the values and where the values are important. And then I'm going to share, there's a template where I'm going to share the values. So I'm going to do an exercise for the values, for you to highlight the values. We know what we are. However, sometimes, there are some things which they are part of us. On the back of our heads, somewhere in the back, we forgot about it. And my purpose is to bring this. Perhaps it's something that can help you, and I'd like to explore this. I've been to a seminar 2 years ago. I was at the seminar, and I met a gentleman called Tom. And during the seminar, we were doing this exercise with values. That's what I've learned about the values. And what we are doing in this exercise, they asked us exactly what I'm going to ask you now. So they said, what are your values in life? And we had 2 minutes to think what we value most in life. At the end of the exercise, we were meant to share. So we had a partner and we were sharing. And I explained mine, and then Tom, he said his. And Tom's values were family, honesty, and education. For him, he said, this is what I precious, this is me, I love my family, I love to get educated, I love to read, and honestly, I'm an honest person. Great, fine. In the next exercise, they ask us to look on our daily schedule and to say, in the last week, what have we done? And we had 5 minutes to describe what we've done last week. And after these 5 minutes, we were meant to share. So I've shared mine, and then Tom shared his. And how he spent his time in a week before, it was Monday to Friday. He was having a office, he had a very busy job in the city, in financial institution. And he was very busy. He was working from 7 o'clock in the morning, which means he needs to leave home about 6, and working until like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And after a long day, he said, I go home, I see my wife, sometimes in London, this was in London, the seminar, and he was living in London as well. And he said, usually in London at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the tubes are busy, it's packed. If usually journey takes you like half an hour, in the evening, if it takes you 1 hour, don't be surprised. So imagine having a long day at work and then staying in the tube, sitting like a sardine in the tube, and tension. When you arrive home, he's done. And he said, when I arrive home, I feel sometimes a bit tired. And I give a kiss to my wife, we speak for half an hour, how the kids are, how I was at school, quick dinner, and perhaps I watch some TV and I go to bed. So that's him for 5 days. And then I said, okay, fine, great, so what you do in the weekend? And then in the weekend, he said, wow, in the weekend it's football. He's a big fan of Arsenal, and he said, I'm not going only to their games in London, but I go away games as well. And I said, okay, so how are you spending your weekend? And he said, we meet with the guys, we go for a pub, we have some fun, then we go and watch the game, and then we go to celebrate or drink. Depends how the game goes. And then, great, what you do on Sunday? On Sunday sometimes we go, depends how the games are. And he said, if the game is on Saturday, on Sunday we go cycling, or I do something, some activities, and then in the evening we gather together with the boys and we go for a pub, for a pint. And then in the night, around 10, 11, go home, prepare for the next day, have a shower, and off to bed. And then they ask us, oh, great, thank you for sharing that. It's great. So I did not know what's coming next. And then the organizer, the facilitator said, next question is, look on your schedule. From what you've done last week, how much time you've spent on your values, how much time you spent with your family, how much time you've been honest about, how much time you spent on education. And when I've done this, when he said that, I've looked at Tom, and his face was like, guess why? Because that was a moment when he realized the values is not what you say, the values is what you do. What we value is what we do. Where our attention goes, what we're focusing on, that's our values. I can say that my value is health. And then if I look back, what do I eat? It will be a tough one, that will tell me. So what we're going to do after this, we're going to work on accountability, on the journaling. We're going to work on that aspect as well. For now, for the moment, what I'd like to ask you is to look at the list. You have a PDF list with values. I'd like you to have a piece of paper, an A4, and when you write the values, write 20 values which you think they are close to your heart. They are close is what you are. So write them, and write them in such a way that you write them everywhere on the page. So don't write them one after another linear sequence. Put them somewhere on the page. And ideally, if you have a colored pen, that would be great. If not, we're going to use another paper. So for now, spend 5 minutes. Look on the list with values which you have attached and choose 20. Time starts now. Thank you for your trust. And now that you have the values, what I'd like to ask you is to group them, to bunch them, to put them together. See if you can bunch them. If some of them have similar qualities, for example, ambitions. If you say ambition, determination, perhaps they can go in the same category. So see if you can group them. Ideally, in five groups of 4, or if it's less or more, ideally to have 5 groups. So have 5 groups and group them. We have 2 minutes. Time starts now. Thank you. And now what we're going to do next is, out of this, from each bunch, you have five groups, select 2. So from each of these 5 groups, select 2 values which you find are more important for you. Select them and write them on a different paper, please. Time starts now, we have 2 minutes. And now it comes to the interesting part. You have 1 minute. From these 10, you have 1 minute to choose 5, 1 from each group. Time starts now, please. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Congratulations! Well done, well done. Raise your hand, put it on your shoulder and say, well done. You've just done an amazing thing. You've done an amazing thing. You explored the goals, we explored the values. You now know where you want to go and what drives you there. And the way we are going to use these values is with affirmations. Is with visualization. What we are going to do next is an example, an exercise of visualization.